Good morning and welcome to the Colombia versus USA ladies under 19 matchup. This is the first time these two teams are seeing each other besides in practice days. And we're off for a strike.
Yeah, and we've got the USA in white going from left to right, Colombia in black. Hi there, it's Nat Wickham, day 4. First thing in the morning after a big 12-hour day in the pool yesterday. What a humdinger that was. So we've got a slightly shorter day today, but it's still we don't finish until 7. So I hope you enjoy our commentary. Please get on the live chat and add your comments. We really look forward to that. And any shout-outs we can put over the live stream.
And there's a lot of action here right in the middle. Both these teams should be very well matched. They met each other in the practice rounds, but this is their first round robin matchup. All the teams in this division will see each other twice. So this is actually really good timing for these two teams because they're going to have a great game. I'm sure they're both looking forward to it. And
Agnes, do you find we have some rivalries in this competition? Australia and New Zealand always have fierce rivalries, and we've got the Brits and the French. Do you have the same kind of thing with USA and Colombia?
Not as much USA and Colombia because we don't really see them in regular competition. We see Canada a lot. So obviously we have a big rivalry with Canada. The Colombian team, I think we're well matched up with. So there's that rivalry that definitely I think is developing here because there'll be great competition for us.
Yeah, they're both on the same level on the ladder so far after 3 days of competition. And like you said, it's a double round robin for these girls. However, this is the first time they've come up against Colombia, so they'll be playing, USA and Colombia will be playing again before the finals.
And it looks like Colombia is right in on the goal. It was cleared out, but there's a ref.
Yeah, it looked like it went in the tray.
Called the goal. There was an advantage being played, I think, and now they're calling it equal because presumably there was the advantage being played for the Colombian team, but then if they had a foul, then they're going to call that equal puck.
Yeah, it looks like we've got Helen there reffing. She's an Australian ref. 3 refs in the water for those people that aren't players themselves, and those 3 refs try and keep the flow of the game going by using the advantage call. So if you see them waving their hand in a circular motion on the surface, that means they're playing advantage until advantage is lost, and then they'll pull it up.
And at this point right now, the teams seem pretty even. The Colombians are pushing a little bit harder right down in the goal trough. They like to play in the middle of the pool a little more. I think the USA team has been playing a little bit more of an open swinging game, so it'll be interesting how they match up to each other.
Yeah, well, having called the Colombians a couple of games, you notice that there's always a lot of Colombians on the bottom.
Always a lot.
They look at that turn, and she just went again, waited for support, and gave a really good flick back to one of her players. Gee, that's hard to defend against.
And they're very, very powerful. They'll come right in and with a lot of energy, a lot of speed. And the USA team was just playing, the last 2 games they played were against New Zealand, which is a very, very strong team, but quite a different style than what the Colombians are playing.
It looks like the Americans are keeping their composure, stealing off the front of the sticks of the Colombians and then clearing it out wide, which is what you want to see. You don't want to see them going back through the pack.
And it's going to be very, very important for them to continue doing that.
That was a really neat steal. She was against 2 of the Americans there and took it back up the line of her body to attack. And it looks like we've got another infringement and it's against the United States girls.
So again, for anybody tuning in for the first time, an advantage puck allows the team with the advantage to touch the puck. The other team has to back up 3 meters until the puck has been touched, and then they can go in, and there's another encroachment on the USA, which means they cross that 3-meter line before.
Thanks, Lee. Well spotted. We're just changing that overlay now. We'll see what we can do anyway. If you look up on the top left-hand side of the screen, people that are watching, we've got New Zealand, USA, and it should read Colombia, USA. Thanks, Lee.
And, it looks like it was cleared out by a USA player running up the far wall. And we can hope they can keep that momentum going that direction. The Colombians are being very strong at turning that puck around.
So these girls would have been up quite early this morning getting prepped for this game. They're outside the pool. We're coming in this morning, I saw the Colombians doing their usual salsa to the music and really grooving. Everyone has a different warm-up style. What do the US girls do before their game, Agnes?
I've been mostly with the under 23 boys, but obviously there's going to be some dry land stretching and water work, water warm up. I don't think they do anywhere near as much dancing as the
the Colombians definitely
do.
have a unique style of warm up and dance stars feature. I think it's great.
It is fun just to watch their warm ups, and of course, as a lot of people know, the Colombian team had a fundraiser where they did a dance in the public theater over here, and the USA teams all came to watch that.
Oh, that's terrific.
That was an interesting, a very creative fundraising thing, and the same as any other team. That looks
it was
like
nice of the girls to go and support them too, because it costs, for anyone to come down to the Southern Hemisphere, it's not a cheap thing for sure. And the support from the US girls for the Colombians, that would have been great, and the boys.
It's always a battle for any team to raise the money to go here, and that's never ending.
This is a really nice open game, Agnes. Would you agree? They're really finding the spaces.
Yeah, they're using them. It looks like there was a foul called against the USA. I think they may have had a player go out, and then the Colombian team took good advantage of that and put a goal in. And
Isabel Franco.
So right now it's Colombia, not New Zealand, as it says up in the top corner. Colombia against USA. Colombia leading 1-0. So now we've got the score: USA leading 1-0.
For the Colombian team, we've got Isabella, Catalina, Manuela, Natalia, Mariana, Valentina. Mariana again, Daniela, Gabriela, Isabella, Michelle and Marilu. I'm not sure who's sitting out for the Colombians today, so they've got 12 in their squad, but they'll have 10 lining up today, 4 in the sub-bench and 6 in the water. Who have you got in the girls' team, Agnes?
We have Nicole Wong, Abby Banks, Rosa Zhang, Jennifer Tom, Kenya Lamb, Teresa Lee, Vivian Lee, Elsa DeBruner, Jana DeBruner, Molly Banks, and Paige Thompson.
Did I hear you say Vivian Lee? That's a bit of a famous name, that one.
we have Vivian Lee playing for us, and then her sister Teresa. We've got the sisters there, and we have Molly and Abby Banks, also a pair of sisters, and Jana and Elsa DeBruner, another pair of sisters. So we've got a lot of family
connections
time in here, and the coaches are Sue and Kendall Banks, so Molly and Abby's parents. So there's a lot of family stuff going in here.
Yeah, I think Great Britain have got the same thing happening. I was interviewing one of the girls after a game yesterday, and she said they've got a lot of sisters and brothers in there in there as well as parents, as refs, and it is a real family affair, which is what we love about this sport, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. And Teresa and Vivian Lee, their brother Justin, is playing in the other under 19 boys, and Jana and Elsa have a brother playing in the under 23.
Oh, that's great. And you've got your families all here, aren't they? As well.
Yep. So it's definitely a family thing, and it looks like another advantage for the USA team, and they will hopefully make good use of that and push that one in the goal and tie the game up.
Yeah,
right now Colombia's leading 1-0.
So you'll notice all 12 players will be on the bottom here for this passage of play, and it really comes down to which team can keep on recycling their players through and find the gaps. Well done for Colombia. Of course, they're going to take it out to the corner, which is the easiest place
nice
to defend.
Drive to the middle.
But US have switched it right across the pool, and that will create gaps.
An advantage going on, presumably for the USA team. And now that the play turns around, the referee will call that foul. It's a gloving on Colombia, so then the USA team gets advantage once again in front of the goal. And this is a fairly new to us. I mean, in the last few years, this advantage rule, where they won't just call a foul right away. If the team has an advantage, they'll let them continue to play. Because a lot of times if you have that momentum and you're going forward, and then even if the call goes in your favor, it's a disadvantage to get that call.
Absolutely. And I think at the same time that the advantage rule came in, the 3 refs also came in, which have changed the game. Oh, look, that was a terrific clearance
nice
from
job
Colombia.
by the Colombians.
Over near the sub-bench side, they'll be looking at getting some fresh players in and trying to drive it up the wall. I'm looking at the stats, Agnes, for the two teams, and for the goals against, United States have conceded 28 goals in this competition, and Colombia are only 13. So it's good to see the Americans right on the Colombian back line. They've got to put pressure on that back line because that's obviously their strength, and they seem to be doing a really good job with that.
Yeah, and somewhat those statistics are a little different depending on which teams they've played, because I don't think they've played the same teams, but the teams are very even. Colombia does seem to have in the head-to-head games against Australia and also South Africa, I don't think the Colombians gave up quite as many goals as the U.S., but it's very, very close. And as we can see in the game here, they're playing each other very close, and they need to figure out each other's games.
Yeah, and when it comes down to this final seeding and placings for finals, goals against does count. I think if
for
there's
tiebreakers.
Yeah,
for
tiebreakers. So, defence is really important. Thanks to all those comments we've got coming through live chat. Thanks, Steve Cars. Hi to you as well. Hope you like my picture of the Border Collie on Facebook. And we've got My Bien Chicas from Anna. Vamos, USA. So some really good
again.
support.
Thank you, Steve. And now we just came off of a timeout for, I believe the Colombian team called that. Both coaches, I'm sure, all the coaches are telling their teams where to take advantage of the other team's weaknesses, what to beef up on their own team. And hopefully the USA can get that. They're close to their goal, but they haven't been able to get past that defense.
And the pool bottom being nice and quick, you can see the takeoff for players. Once you get a bit of a run and get ahead, it's very hard to chase you down. Got a nice smooth pool bottom, and the puck slides really well.
Yeah, I haven't personally been in this pool and played in it, but apparently there's a grout line or two in this pool that really slows the puck down.
Yeah,
that the girls have to watch out for, and a nice run across there. Swimmer needs to.
A bit blindsided there by the Colombian, just came out of nowhere. Great tackle. Look at the intensity of the US girls. 2-on-1. So credit to them. Terrific defence. I'm liking what I'm seeing. There's always 2 players there, one on either side of the Colombian.
And the Colombians always have a lot down too, so it's a pretty intense game. And good drive by the Colombians, way out, cleared by number 10. That's Jana de Bruyne.
And the Colombians will want to bring this off the wall and attack the centre of the goals, which is what they're trying to do.
And they keep getting rebuffed. They go in the corner, take it right back out, though. It doesn't slow them down much.
They're renowned for their tight curls, aren't they, Agnes? And you've got to get someone on either side really tight, because they do curl strong and keep it close into their body, which does make it hard to steal.
Yeah, they're very quick, and they'll clear their space. It's very hard to get in there with them, and that looks like a call against the USA team. That was on an advantage, and I can't tell for sure what the call was exactly.
And they're really quick. The refs are calling very fast, restarting the play really quickly, and it doesn't give the teams much time to do a sub in that instance. I think some of the teams are subbing on the calls, and it doesn't give them enough time to get back in and get settled and set up for the free. So it was good to see both teams stayed in the water and set up for that free, because the refs will start it instantly.
Yes, and that makes the game really flow much better. It's a much better game that way. And as you can see, though, the USA team managed to clear it out from the goal. They're going down their far wall now, and Colombia doing a fine job grabbing it back and driving it back in their direction.
Lovely big swim, and 3 USA girls, two flanking her in the front and one coming from behind. But the Colombians still managing to maintain possession, although well done, USA.
Diverted again. This is just proving to be quite a battle. USA is a little bit more on their heels than they want to be.
And you'll notice there's a lot of space in the court, and that's because it's a 15-metre by 25-metre court, which is maximum size for world champs. And if they use all that space, they'll tire. But if they keep possession, it's the opposition they're going to tire out.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there again, a call against the USA, and again in front of the goal. So this is a scary situation for the USA. They really have to be on the ball and sharp to defend these. They've been doing a good job, but it's tough.
Ooh.
And one looks like it went in.
So all three refs will look to each other to make sure there was no infringement. And we're looking at number 11 for Colombia. So well done, Michelle Herrera.
And so then now the teams, of course, can get their subs, take a little break. Coaches can talk to the swimmers that are in the sub box. And hopefully USA is making some really good drives. They just can't get through that final defense.
Yeah, both teams have the ability to call a timeout, one timeout per half. Colombia, I think, have already called their timeout for the... I think it was Colombia that called the first timeout, Agnes?
Yes, I believe so. I wasn't
And it is,
wasn't
it's
sure
like someone said to me, it's the trump card. When you play it is really important because it can change the momentum of the game. So for the coaches, think very carefully and not waste that timeout, but you need to use it as well. Quite often a goal is scored straight after a timeout because it gives that a team just enough time to refocus, think about what the coach has told them to do, and think positively.
Yeah, and then both teams, of course, can use those timeouts. One team calls it, but both teams get the timeout. And so you want to time it, too, so you don't want to waste... You don't want to waste your time out, but then you do want to be able to use it. So one team or other usually calls it.
Half time, Agnes.
Already?
Yeah, I know,
wow, I
really
can't
quickly.
believe. Wow.
My goodness.
Okay, yeah, I was not paying attention to the time, and that one certainly caught me off guard that the time was running down.
But 2-0, the door is still ajar for the Americans. Oh, it's actually wide open. It's anyone's game. Agnes, notice we're a bit cloudy in Hobart at the moment. There's a really low cloud last night. That is really unfortunate because I've heard that the Aurora Australis, the Southern Lights, are performing for us at the moment. So if the clouds weren't there, you'd be seeing the rainbow lights. I think it's a reflection from Antarctica.
Yeah, we really, really would love to see that. But, yeah, it's not going to happen. And I don't know, how often do you get those lights?
Quite a lot through winter. And it is it's just a spectacle. And if you go, in towards the Midlands in Tasmania, where there are no city lights, or that's where you get the best spectacle. And it strobes the light. It's like a midnight rainbow.
So if we're going to be here another week or so, week and a half maybe, are we likely to have another chance to see them?
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility. Okay. So we just hope that cloud cover clears. I mean, the good thing with the cloud cover, it keeps it a little bit milder. It's not so icy and cold. Because once the cloud cover clears, we get the frosts, and it's 3 degrees in the mornings. So, but let's keep our fingers crossed. And I was just talking to a friend the other day. We're so lucky here in Hobart, Agnes. I was out fishing just an hour south of Hobart a couple of weeks ago, and we were lucky enough to see the migrating whales go past.
Oh, that would be wonderful,
and
too.
And a couple of pods of dolphins. Yeah. So it's a nice time, especially in the southern waters.
Right.
In Hobart.
The under 19 girls, the USA girls yesterday went, I can't remember the name of the animal sanctuary. Bonarong. And it's an animal sanctuary, I guess, and they were petting the kangaroos and the koalas, and they were just thrilled because, of course, we don't get those in
those
the
chunky
state.
little wombats. They're
the Tasmanian
buns.
devils, and they were so thrilled. I got so many little pictures on my phone, like, Mom, look at this, Mom, look at that, and so that was fun for them, and they really need a little bit of a mental and physical break. And it's hard to fit in these games. They're so
40
intense.
40 minutes from here, I think, the drive, isn't it, to
Yeah.
Bonarong? And it's a world-class it's reserve, and they take in the injured animals and, the big, any wedge-tailed eagles that get injured, they bring them back to health and release them back into the wild. They've got, a great array of Aussie animals, or Tassie animals anyway.
Yeah, and, that was quite a treat. So it looks like they're lining up now, ready, and there we go, starting the second half of this Colombia versus USA game, under 19 girls. And Colombia currently in the lead 2-0.
We've got a nice even spread of people contributing to the live chat from both Colombia and the US. So keep those chats going. Second half. It's only a 30-minute game, Agnes, and people think that's such a short time to be playing underwater hockey. But look, I tell you, when you're in the water, it feels like an eternity.
That's a long game. Oh, and Colombia just doing a nice, just powerful play right down through the middle. They've got the power and
number 10, I think. Yep. So number 10 for Colombia, Isabella Franco. Well done, Isabella. That was a really nice, clean drive too.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see, you see the girls swimming into the tray and they keep it on their stick rather than flicking it. And that's harder to defend. So if the girls can keep it on their stick and swim it right into the tray. I've seen a couple of runaways, Agnes, and I'm sure you have too, where, a big runaway, they swim the length of the pool and launch this massive flick, goes straight over the top of the tray.
Yeah.
And bounces out and defends it.
And that's so disappointing. So that was a nice drive by, the USA team. Kenya Lamb is generally taking the strikes, and she's been winning pretty much every single one I've seen her take. It's
very
swimmer,
impressive.
Agnes, yeah, she's still current swimmer, I believe. So, yeah, we've got some very, very good speed on the USA team. And the Colombia team right now is, I think, winning this by just pure numbers on the bottom.
Yeah,
there's another
their strength,
drive,
isn't it? It really is their
It is.
their
Having
signature.
played against them, boy, they're just down there. They're fierce.
Or playing advantage. So I wonder if that was an advantage for the Colombian
So that
team
was
or
a drive. Yeah, sorry, and that was not a drive by the USA team. That was by the Colombian team, knocking on their door again, right in the middle, and she takes the puck, just spins around with it.
You can see that the speed that they're curling, that the puck doesn't have any resistance. It just scoops right round, which can be a disadvantage if it spills off your stick. But these girls must have some nice tight hooks on their sticks, which keep it tight.
I think they've got some tile surfaces in Colombia that they play on. That looks like another goal for Colombia.
Yeah, absolutely. So and it's number 3. That looks like a 2 to me.
2 or 3.
Yeah, it was the number 3. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Manuela Cano. It's nice here in the commentary box. We've got obviously the 2 people commentating, so we've got a monitor that we're watching, and right next to us I've got lovely Romy, who herself is a elite player, and she is handling 6 different camera screens, the score card and also the overlays with all the players' names. So she's switching between the screens, making sure that we're getting the best view, as well as bringing up team lists and updating the scorecard with the names of the players who score the goals. So thanks, Romy. You're our eyes and ears.
Yeah, we couldn't do this without you. And now the USA had control of the puck and was taken back by Colombia, who's just when they have it, they don't give it up. They just curl tight.
Fantastic.
And there's always another Colombian coming back behind them.
Gee, they're using the corridor, Agnes, aren't they? They're really centering
are.
it. And that was a terrific interception by the US girls.
And
a
a call against the U.S. I'm not sure how that terrific interception must not have been quite as clean as it looked from here.
No, we thought it was just too easy, and obviously must have been some skullduggery going on.
So yeah, USA has to back up 3 meters, and Colombia is well able to take advantage of those plays, and once they have possession, it is darn hard to get it back.
It'd be nice to see the US girls just get in amongst that curling. They really do need to insert their centre or one of their forwards in behind the curls, and then coming at right angles almost, just take that momentum, take it out to the side, and allow the rest of the US team to regroup. So we've got an infringement against Colombia, and this will give the US time to reset. 10 minutes to go in the second half, and the US haven't used their timeout yet. But let's see, the coach will be watching if they can make a good penetration.
Nice move out to the outside on the USA part, and they're making a drive in the right direction.
Now, Kendall Banks, the coach for the US team, he's been around a while.
He's been around a long time.
Yeah, I think
he's actually co-coaching with his wife, Sue Banks, and they've both been in underwater hockey. I'm not sure how many World Championships Kendall has played in, but I think it's on the order of like 14.
Yeah, I played with him, I think, in San Jose in 98.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I was in that one too.
Oh, look, there you go. We've crossed paths many times.
Yeah.
And what a court that
Well,
was.
I
They
was
had-
already playing Masters then, so
absolute Still. But they had that overlay on the pool bottom, the sports
sport court, yes.
Sport court. So it was
Sport
like
court.
having an artificial turf in the pool.
Yeah, and we've got that now in Colorado. We play on sport court, and they've refined the plastic a little bit, so it's even nicer. And that's just a really crazy, interesting surface to play on. We just absolutely love it.
Yeah, when we were in San Jose, it actually curved up the walls. So you could, it was like playing in a bowl, and you could actually go up the wall a little bit and round players.
Well, the pool did, but I don't think that the sport court itself was flat.
Right,
I
okay.
believe there might have been there was a few waves in that sport court. They were having trouble keeping it completely flat against the bottom. But I think the pool surface did, before they put the sport court in, they did have the curved walls, which always, it's a little interesting. It takes away from your playing area. It looks like an infringement against Colombia and an advantage to the USA team right in front of the goal. Hopefully the USA
these girls are
can,
subbing. I can't believe it. The time it takes them to sub and get fresh players in, they won't have time to get flat on the bottom.
or the confidence there. It looks like
Oh.
possibly a timeout might have been called.
No,
Oh,
a
no.
subbing foul.
Okay, so they got called on the substitution.
Even
In
though it was a break,
infringement,
yeah.
they substituted and then came in from the front of the play. What they should have done is come in behind the referees and not drawn that encroachment call.
So we've got Isabella Cardoso out.
Yeah, so the referees called someone out on that. And my understanding actually is that if you're heading away from the play and you're coming in from the sub box, that you should be able to like if you're subbing on on an advantage and you come in from the front and you're swimming backwards, if you're not across the line, if you're not facing the puck and attacking the puck, that would be okay. But they unfortunately did that right between the two refs. If they'd come in behind the refs, I don't think that would have been an issue. So
as long as they're behind the line of the refs when play is started, because that break
right. So that call confused me just a little bit, and it could be that originated in the sub box.
I don't think they'd got back into the sub box.
Right. It could have been someone left the sub box before the play was started. I mean, then there was only 3 in the sub box for a brief time.
Yeah.
It's not totally clear to me, but
so 5 players in for Colombia, and the States having a good stab at getting that into the tray. They need to capitalise on this. This is a perfect opportunity to score. And while that player's out for 1 minute, I presume she'd only be out for 1 minute. The States, the girls, do need to capitalise. This is their opportunity to bring it up to 4-1.
Yeah, and just keep that pressure on, keep the bodies down. They've got one more body that they can have down there than the Colombians can, and they need to capitalize on that. And it looks like the Colombians are doing a fine job just keeping in the corner, probably just trying to kill some time until their extra player comes back in the pool, and a call by the referee on the USA. And so the USA gets pushed back another 3 meters. And the Colombians, I'm sure, are glad to see this. Their 1 minute penalty should be running out pretty soon. And then they'll have all 6 in the water again.
Yeah, and she's got to wait until the puck's touched before she can jump into the court. It's been a very clean game, Agnes.
It really has been. To someone who doesn't play, it seems like there's a lot of calls, but this has actually been in their minor infringements. 1 minute out was for nice play. I think that might have been Yana.
That was terrific.
Well,
composure.
actually,
she
I'm not
it
sure.
got knocked down. She stayed down, regained possession, curled tightly, and still got it out to that wing.
Yeah,
well done.
Now if they can just
That's
keep
class.
that. Now they got 2-on-1 there, and if they get a little tired, okay, they got the USA
nice
team
cross.
gets it
This
out,
is good.
swims it across, opens it up, and that was a little bit of a risky
Yeah,
move.
it was.
And the Colombia just took advantage of it, grabbed it right back.
Yeah, I think
They've always got people waiting.
she needs to continue that line outside play. Obviously, bringing it back into the middle, especially against the Colombians. That's where they're all sitting.
Yeah,
and bringing it back into the middle. You're just taking it back
she was
into
probably,
the contest.
She was certainly tired. I don't think she saw anybody ahead of her, so she was looking for help in the middle, and that was at that point anyway, not with the Colombians sitting right there, not the right move. But they'll be learning about this. This is the first time they play Colombia. Next time when they play, they will know to expect this more. And again, it's a very different game from what they played in their last 2 games against New Zealand. So it's a learning experience for a pretty new USA team. Colombia isn't super hasn't been in the sport for all that long, but they have had more women's teams I think for sure in Spain. I think maybe even earlier that. So Colombia is definitely the more experienced team.
Yeah, and we know we've got some guys that regularly go over to coach and help out the Colombians from Australia and support their competition, and they're very passionate, really
Very
enthusiastic about the
so,
sport, and growing rapidly.
Yeah, and it's great to see. Their programs, the youth programs, we need to build them in the U.S. It's always hard. Most of the players are
New
playing.
Zealand have a great model for their
absolutely,
schools.
yeah.
And
our teams are generally just play against the adults, and it's a hard way to learn. The kids, it's much more fun to play against kids your age, and they're nice drive by the USA,
Yeah,
and
look
hopefully
at
they can
this.
push that in. And a nice
flick.
defense
That's
by
what we wanna see.
and they are calling that a goal. I couldn't see that on the screen.
So number 4 or 5.
Did we see the number there? Well, if it was 4, that would be Rosa Zhang, and number 5 is Jennifer Tom, and not.
Let's go USA. Let's bring it back a little. We always like to see a tight game. Never want to see one team run away with a score. A tight game is a good game, and it's the time to be learning too.
And yeah, so for the USA, just mentally to be able to push one in there, that'll give them the confidence. Hopefully they can come back and do that again.
So Rosa.
They know they can do that. So that was number 4, Rosa.
And good call. Teams lining up. Has anyone called a timeout? I think I think Kendall may have.
It seems like everybody's still in the sub box waiting. They're taking a little long to restart, but I don't think there was a call.
Who's the captain for the United States team?
The captain is Jana de Bruyne. She saw her in the
stuck
sub
her tongue out
box.
as sneaky.
Yeah. And she's got a smile on her face. I'm sure that felt good to get one in finally, because these Colombians are being tough. Now there must have been a timeout or a ref's timeout or
not
something.
Sure. Agnes, what do you call the trough, tray, bin?
Oh, we just call it the goal generally, but
there you go.
here everybody else has been calling it a trough or a tray, or the Canadians call it their net.
Yes, the net, of course.
And,
you can see that from the ice hockey, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So,
look at the numbers on the bottom. My
nice.
goodness.
Oh, and that toss to the middle. Okay, it worked out. The USA got it back, and that's number 9. That's Elsa de Bruyne. Passing it on out to
nice
I
cross.
can't see the
Beautiful
other.
45 off the wall.
Good play there, keeping the possession. And
when there's that many bodies on the bottom, it's going to be the ones that stay down for that extra second effort, because the gaps will appear. You can't hold your breath forever.
Yeah.
You've just got to be really disciplined not to do
Nice
what your body
play.
wants to do and go to the surface straight away. Stay down that little bit extra, and more often than not, the puck spills back to you.
Beautiful drive by the USA team, and if they
This
could
is
put
what we
another
want.
one in here, they'd have a hard time tying this game up. But if they can put another one in, I'm sure.
So
that
we've got a
would be-
ref's
Yeah.
call,
Oh,
I think, happening.
and there's a call, and it's
Chopping against
against the Colombians. Advantage for the USA directly in front of the goal. So hopefully they've got their momentum. They're excited. They just scored, and they can try to get yet another one in.
3 forwards waiting for the flick.
And there's a nice pass going in.
And everyone sets up differently on those frees. You find some teams, the New Zealand girls, sometimes all sit behind the puck and swim onto the
Beautiful
flick.
drive.
And then the Australians and the Americans, you have 3 players sitting ahead of the puck, and the puck usually lands under their bodies for them to drive in.
Correct. Yeah, and it's hard for the forwards. They can't see the puck coming, but they have to be there holding their space so that they can then, when they do get the puck, push it forward and don't let anybody else in that space that they're trying to hold.
Many a discussion is had at every competition I've been in. The whole, how do we take the free? How do we capitalise and get this? Take the advantage. And Oh, I think we've tried everything, from people lying sideways in the tray to everyone behind the puck to setting up on, right away, far away from it to the left. And I think it's a 50-50, so most of the time, who gets it?
So
whether you can actually penetrate.
The USA with another advantage right in front of their goal, and they're just hoping they can get through that Colombian defense. And the Colombians have now moved it back out to the corner where they want it, not where the USA wants it. The Colombians are super strong in the middle of the pool when it gets out toward their goal, but of course, when the USA is threatening to score, then they want it out on the corner, get it out, regroup, and then get the momentum going back the other direction. And again, the USA making a drive for the goal.
Oh, well done, Colombia.
And
nice
Colombia just moved it way out exactly to a fresh sub who was just waiting there ready. And that's going to really put the USA on their heels. They have to chase that fresh swimmer. Looks like they did shut that down.
Yeah, and look, they'll be tired now, Agnes. It's been up away from the sub bench for US for, I don't know how long, but it seems like a long time.
It is a long.
So the US girls will be tired. Colombia will have some fresh legs in there. And, swinging it across the pool, going fairly square at the moment. Something's got to give.
Yeah, and we have less than a minute left in this game, so USA, if they want to make one more point, they're going to have to really push hard. So I'm sure they're working that hard. Hopefully they can still be just patient enough that they don't lose possession.
Now, after the game, Agnes, would you like to go poolside and have a little chitter-chatter with some of the players?
Well, I don't know if I can understand any of the Colombians, but
you can grab one of the American girls, I'm sure.
Yes,
give her the chance to have to give a message to home and see what they felt about the game.
Looks like our time is running out here. 7 seconds left. Colombia advantage. Now the USA team is taking their subs. They're, I'm sure, exhausted after that period of time. Okay, no. So we have 20 seconds left. That was a countdown clock for the when they stop the clock at the when they stop the clock in the last 2 minutes of play. They will stop the time.
And that's it, 4-1. Well, be interesting to see what the American girls feel about that. The Colombians fought hard. That was great hockey to watch, Agnes.
It really was, and the two different styles is very interesting. And I think, again, this is the first of the 2 round-robin games, the double round-robin, that the USA will play against Colombia. So they'll have another chance at this, and I'm sure the coach will have a lot of advice for them. And well played on both parts. So the final score, Colombia 4, USA 1. And I think both teams hopefully are happy with the way they played, and we'll be ready for that next game.
Okay. You happy to pop out on pool deck? We'll pop a microphone through to you.
I can try that. Sure. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
I will. I'll leave you to chitter-chatter, and then I'll come back on the stream in about 1 minute.
Okay, and go USA.
Hi, back on pool deck, and I have the lovely number 10 from Colombia, who's going to give us a little rundown of the game, how she felt in Español.
¿En español o en inglés? Hola a todos los que nos están viendo, a los colombianos y a las personas de todo el mundo. Fue un partido pues muy interesante, me gustó mucho y pues ganamos 4-1, pero fue con mucho esfuerzo y for one, ya.
Yeah, and in English, how do you feel about the game?
Well, I felt so good. I did 2 goals and I felt so happy and proud, but not because it was my goals, but because it was my team goal.
Yeah, it's always a team effort, isn't it? But it is nice to be the one to put it in the tray. 4-1, it was a tight game. We watched that game and there was a lot of comments from home, so we were live streaming, and it was great. There was so much support for you girls. A terrific end score, 4-1. So big game this afternoon.
Yeah, we had a game against New Zealand tonight, and we are going to win as well.
Yeah, good luck with that. New Zealand on the top of the ladder. So this will be your second time that you've come up against New Zealand.
Yeah, it's the second time, but I know everything is in everyone's minds, and we have in our minds that we are going to win this game. So this is what is going to happen.
Yeah, look, you played well today. You kept really good possession. If you can play like that tonight is going to be an awesome game. So thank you so much for coming to the mic.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. See you later, girls. Abby Banks. All right, I've got Abby Banks here on poolside on the mic. Good to see you, Abby. You must be exhausted after that game.
Yes, it was a tiring game.
It was a really tight game. In the first half, it was very close. You girls were swimming and using your space really well. Did it feel like you had a bit of space, or was it pretty intense?
I felt like we could have been a little closer together. Yeah, we were a little far apart.
Yeah, the Colombians do play a really curling game. It's hard to get in amongst it, isn't it? But when you did, you broke it up really well, and it was lovely to see you girls do some runs. You've got some fast players.
Yeah, we do. We got some really fast ones.
Do you have some swimmers in your team, some ex-swimmers or current swimmers?
Yeah, we have some current swimmers. I used to be on swim team. I'm not anymore, though, but we have some people who are on swim team now.
It does pay off, doesn't it? You'd have to be pretty pleased with your effort. Who are you playing this afternoon?
We're playing Australia.
Okay. Well, go the Aussies. But if you play like you did today, the 4-1 didn't really indicate how close that game was. If you can play that well today, it's going to be a really tight match this afternoon. Did you want to say anything to the people, your family or anyone at home that's watching?
I want to say hi to Maddie Estes. She's taking care of my animals while I'm here. So,
what animals are we talking about?
I have a pet rat. She loves him very much, so it's good.
All right, well, thanks for coming to the mic, and hopefully you get another chance to have a bit of a chat, and good luck in your journey to the finals. Okay.